Welcome to Meldon Law and Friends. I'm Jeffrey Meldon. What a day, man. It's Tuesday, June 4th, and the Gator baseball and the Lady Gator softball teams are still in it for the national championship. Wow. As we speak, the Lady Gator softball team's playing the mighty Oklahoma team, and I say mighty because they've won 3 national championships in a row. That's, pretty strong. So we'll see what happens. As we speak, the Lady Gators are a little ahead, but I don't want to jinx anybody. And the men, they get to go up to Clemson and play Clemson, and my thought is anybody outside the SEC is chump change. So we'll see what happens, but nobody plays a schedule as hard as the Gators men's baseball team. In fact, they were ranked number 1 in the country. So that's that. We'll see how we do. Give our pitchers a little bit of rest after a wild weekend. So what else is going on this weekend? Wow, Rock the Country, Kid Rock, Jason Aldean, and Leonard Skinner coming to Ocala. That is a big deal. The concert's going to be huge. Meldon Law gave away a free pass for the whole weekend, plus we also gave away a parking pass and some other goodies. So check us out on our Facebook page. We give away tickets for everything, whether it's sporting events, music events. We're there. June 4th, tonight, 5:30 to 3:30, the Hispanic Business Chamber meeting at Best Restoration and Floor Care in Gainesville. And Meldon Law is sponsoring it. We have a very strong presence in the Hispanic community. My wife, Patricia, is Cuban and Venezuelan, so we have a strong presence in the Meldon home. And we love what Elio Piedra is doing. He's going to be bringing live Spanish speaking radio to our community. So stay tuned. That's a big deal. Ribbon cutting. June 5th for Huddy's Escape in Gainesville. There's some other great companies are going to be there. Shands Care, Critical Care, Shear Construction, the Grind Coffee Shop, Greater Gainesville Chamber of Commerce. So let's support our local merchants. It's June 5th, Wednesday at 10 a.m., 209 Northwest 75th Street. Ribbon cutting for General Carousel Reading with Horses. I love the horse crowd, man. They are just kicking butt. So June 6th, come on down to the General Carousel's Reading with Horses at 9:45. The program this summer is at the Ocala Downtown Market. It's free for children and adults. Features a different horse and children's book with different authors about the actual horses. Pretty cool. And the idea is to get kids to learn how to read. Every child is going to be able to select a book every week, and it's a very cool charity. I'm very concerned about our children reading enough with the internet. I don't know if anybody reads anymore. So we love promoting reading books. Wind FM rocks the Riley. Man, if you haven't been to the Riley for one of their rock shows, you're missing something. We were there for the Tom Petty show a couple weeks ago, and it was awesome. So June 29th, Friday night, get ready to rock out with Wind FM, and they're going to have some of the titans of rock with tribute bands, Journey and Bon Jovi. So Bon Jovi, of course, Don't Stop Believin'. What a song. So my former law partner, Peter Laird, goes out to L.A. in the late 70s and goes to work for a goes to work for a music attorney out there, Jerry Edelstein, and they wind up representing Bon Jovi, not only doing their legal work but their management as well. And I remember I wanted a signed picture from Bon Jovi for a friend, I don't know, about 10, 12 years ago, and called my friend Peter and said, can we make this happen? And within a week or so, I had a individually signed picture to this person from Bon Jovi. So that was pretty cool. I've always liked John Bon Jovi. And for those of you that haven't seen the Amazon series, People in Low Places, it's a story about Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood's new bar in Nashville, Tennessee. And I went to Nashville when the Gator basketball team played Vandy, and we flew with the team, and it was really fun. And the night before, the whole crew, we went down to the new bar that Garth Brooks and his wife Trisha Yearwood put together, and it is amazing. It's about 5 levels. It's got a rooftop bar. You can see, the whole strip, and it is something else. Now, getting back to Bon Jovi, I heard a rumor that Bon Jovi was going to be putting up a bar just a few doors down from Garth Brooks' bar. So I guess it's going to be country and rock and roll heaven in Nashville, Tennessee. What a town. This is something that I've been very involved with the Reverend Carl Anderson, the PAVE 24th annual Stop the Violence Back to School rally. The whole idea is we're trying to create awareness that guns are not cool around school, and that the kids need to learn that early on. So we're giving away backpacks to over 3,000 students on July 27th at Santa Fe College, and it starts at 9 o'clock. And I've been involved with them for 5 years now, and I think it's just a terrific effort. You'll see all the policemen out there, the state attorneys, everybody that's involved in the juvenile justice system and the adult system. We're trying to figure out ways to curb violence in our community, and getting guns out of the hands of people that should not be having guns is a good start. So let's see what we can do to stop the violence and prevent some unneeded and unwarranted serious injuries and deaths within our community. Go to Meldon Law Facebook page to stay up to date. We're giving away tickets for all major sporting events in North Central Florida, as well as music events, and we love staying connected to the community. We are a personal injury law firm. We've been in the North Central Florida community since 1971. We have a team of 37 great lawyers and team members that really work hard to get our clients better results than anybody else. I can tell you from studying what's going on, when you go to Meldon Law, you'll get more money. At least that's what the statistics show. So let's, give us a call if you are in a crash, if you're injured. We will help. We've got an all-star team, and our motto at Meldon Law is to deliver Ritz-Carlton service to everyone who we represent, and also to the folks that just call in. We want to be there to help. So that's a little bit about what's going on. We're getting ready to bring in two great women, Brooek Beers, the development coordinator, and Laura Clark, the volunteer coordinator and developmental specialist of the Child Advocacy Center. So we're going to take a break for just a few minutes, and we'll be back on Meldon Law and Friends.
Jeffrey, what are you doing?
Well, I'm joining the band, of course. Since Meldon Law is the official law firm partner of the Florida Gators, I want to help.
Dad, we're litigators. Let's stick to helping people in the courtroom.
Well, can we still hang out and jam a little bit? At Meldon Law, we won't back down.
I was going down a one-way street and a girl that was driving her car T-boned me on my scooter. I ended up going for an MRI and discovering that I had 2 herniated discs. Coming to Cary allowed me to not have to worry about what doctor I was going to see or what physical therapist I had to go to. They say, these are the people we trust. You're going to have a great experience there. And I honestly did each time.
Call Meldon Law. Your consultation is absolutely free.
Albert, Alberta, I understand you were witnesses to a crash. Can you tell us about the accident? When you're in a crash, it's important to get witness statements immediately after the accident. Whether you're in a car, truck, motorcycle, scooter, or even a golf cart accident, at Meldon Law, we won't back down.
And I was in an accident. Someone ran a red light and hit me, and I was hurt. You don't know where to turn. Luckily, I called Jeffrey. These big insurance companies, they don't want you to win. They truly don't. But Jeffrey and his firm and the people that work here, they just really fight for you. You call the law offices of Jeffrey Meldon because you're going to need help, and they will help you.
Call Meldon Law right now.
Hey, Sammy, look who's there. Say hi.
Hey!
You again!
Meldon Law, Jeffrey speaking.
Jeffrey!
Somebody else
hit us!
Here we go again.
After the car accident, your personal life takes a toll when you have major injuries. Being a mother of 3 kids, having to work, it became overwhelming. Didn't know what was going to be my outcome, but Meldon Law actually, they went above and beyond.
At Meldon Law, we're not just your legal team, we're your support system. You do not have to go through this alone. At Meldon Law, we won't back down.
Welcome back to Meldon Law and Friends. I'm here with Brooek Beers, the development coordinator at the Child Advocacy Center, and Laura Clark, our volunteer coordinator at the Advocacy Center. Welcome to the show, ladies. How you doing? Okay, Brooek, I'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about what the Child Advocacy Center is.
Well, it is now 25 years old, so yay to our 25th anniversary. We provide services to children in Alachua County who suffered from abuse, neglect, trafficking abuse. We work directly with DCF, law enforcement, any other partner agencies, and we help thoroughly in an active child abuse investigation. So our goal is to make sure that all of those agencies that have different roles depending on the type of case, we make sure everybody is working through that case effectively, thoroughly, that the children and any non-offending caregivers are receiving the services needed to help them heal. We also act as a safe space for the kids. So we have case managers that work directly with the caregivers and the clients. And then we also offer crisis counseling through our therapy services. And recently, we started doing emergency response as well, which kind of falls under the advocacy team. But that means that at 3 o'clock in the morning, at midnight, anytime, we have a forensic interviewer, we have a case manager, and a therapist on call. So if there's a child that is in the ER and something bad happened to them, we are right there advocating for that child and those caregivers.
Amazing. I was going to make a joke about you getting up every morning at 3 o'clock, but you don't do that, do you? You don't do that yourself, do you?
Not so much in the fundraising world. We have a lot of late nights, but not so much, the super early evenings.
I had, in the dependency world in the court, in my early career, I did, volunteer work, and I saw what went on. This is a while ago, but I'm sure it hadn't changed that much.
It's definitely a needed service, and it's not every town or city has one. So, I mean, we're primarily Alachua County, but it's definitely needed. And it's not something maybe you would really think about unless, you had something that happened close with yourself or a family member. But in Alachua County, just last year alone, we had 5,700 cases of child abuse. And out of that, we were able to provide services to 2,200 kids. And that is, we're a small organization, and with the staff that we had, that's how many children, caregivers. With caregivers, it bumps it up to 3,700 children and caregivers that we were able to provide services to, which is awesome. But there's, when you hear 5,700 cases, there's still a need. A much going need.
So typically, some of the cases you would have is where parent or parents are not properly taking care of their children, or they're abusing them physically.
Correct. Yeah. So we see clients who were physically abused, sexually abused, trafficked, whether it was sex trafficking or labor trafficking. We do work with clients of both, and a lot of times it's usually a case that DCF, the Division of Children and Families, would get called out first, or law enforcement. And then we are one of the responding agencies. So we're there when there is an active investigation going on to kind of get to the bottom of things.
So the police wind up arresting someone. It turns out they have a child at home. Nobody's taking care of the child. And you jump in to try to help.
Correct. And we have other agencies that we partner with that work with kids that are in need of adoption and foster care. And so, depending on each specific situation and each case, we can reach out to those other agencies and connect them if they are in need of additional services.
Or you're head of the volunteer coordinator department.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we have a pretty extensive volunteer program. Most of our volunteers that come in are individual volunteers, and we call them child life volunteers. They come in to spend time with the kids while they're waiting for their therapy appointments. These kids, sometimes they come in with caregivers, sometimes they get dropped off by transporters if they're coming from a group home or from school. And those volunteers are able to sit with them, be their companions, come up with fun activities for them to do. And then those volunteers also help us keep our center relatively organized and clean as well.
So during the day, some of the children who have been abused or mistreated or neglected, are they in school? Are they too young for school? Give us a picture of what it looks like there at your center.
Yeah, absolutely. It really depends on the day, and it depends on the case. So we serve kids anywhere from 2 years old all the way up through 18. And we also serve, even if they're chronologically adults, but maybe mentally children, we serve those individuals as well. So oftentimes it really just depends.
Okay. How long does the work with the children last?
That also depends on the case. Some of these kids need maybe 2 or 3 months of therapy. Some of these kids need a year. So we just kind of provide services as needed to those kids and families until we feel that they're able to go in and live their lives without so many ill effects
So what kind of professional staff do you have at the center?
Yeah, so we have multiple licensed therapists. Not sure quite how many we have at this time. We're looking for more.
We have staff therapists and contract therapists. We have forensic interviewer. So when we are kind of in the beginning stages of the case, we can bring the children in and kind of get, everything that happened to them. And the main purpose of all of our staff and the way that the CAC is designed is so that the child does not get sent through agency to agency to agency and has to retell what happened to them. So that's kind of the main goal of the CAC, is to centralize everything and make it less traumatic on the child. So we can do the forensic interview on site, and we refer to our partner agencies as our multidisciplinary team. So that's the state attorney's office, DCF, law enforcement, the medical professionals. If a child needs a medical exam, we also do that. We can do it in a way where now everybody can watch that forensic interview once, so that the child doesn't have to go to this agency and then that agency and then kind of get, moved around. And that can really cause, more trauma to that child. We partner with the Child Protection Team, which is located in the Children Medical Services. It's a UF-owned building. So we work with them. So if a child needs a medical, and then we kind of partner on different cases with them as well. So at our center, we have, like Laura said, the licensed therapist, a forensic interviewer, and we're kind of split between two different buildings. So our main center, which is located on University Avenue, is where our children come for their therapy appointments. That's where our therapy staff sit. Our admin team, Sherry Kitchens, is our president and CEO. She celebrates her 19th anniversary tomorrow. So shout out to Sherry. And so just so you kind of have an idea, yeah, she's awesome. So we are still growing. We have an opening right now for a crisis intervention specialist. And that position will work with kids to really kind of deep dive and make sure that after the investigation process, kind of figure out like what the child's going through and make sure that they're doing okay. And we have that position, and we have a therapy position open. So we're always expanding, which is great, because we've been here for 25 years and there's a much needed needed services.
Do you ever get court system?
We actually go to court with the kids. Yeah, so we have two therapy dogs that one just got subpoenaed to court recently, which and they go to court with their little tuxedo bandanas on. Our lead therapist has the two therapy dogs, so they join all of her therapy sessions. But yes, we can and do go to court with the kids as well and support them that way.
Yeah, cousin Terry, she lives out in Portland now, but she's a psychologist, and she's always worked with children who were abused, and she's worked with dogs, and she wrote a book about how to work with dogs and children because they tend to open up more with therapy dogs, right?
Amazing. Definitely makes them feel more safe.
Yeah, talk about that a little, because it's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons that our lead therapist does have those two dogs. It really does help the kids feel more comfortable, but also it helps them relate, because both of her therapy dogs, Oliver and Elliot, they were abused as when they were little. So then they got rescued, and now Jamie has them and is able to show these kids these dogs were abused when they were children too, and now they're healed and helping other people. It's just a nice thing for those kids to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome that dog therapy is used in that way, because if you get a trained dog that knows how to deal with kids, and you kind of get the kids to cuddle up a little bit and talk to the dog in their own way, right?
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden they're willing to talk a little more to the therapist. And that's the great thing about it. So who funds this, the Advocacy Center?
We are funded by grants, foundations, and community support. So we literally cannot do what we do without the support of our community. Yeah, we do private fundraisers. we receive VOCA funding and a lot of the larger grants as well. We did have a cut in the VOCA funding. So when that happens, then we kind of have to really either ramp up our fundraising side of it with special events and look for other funding sources. So we're also growing that as well. We're looking to expand our recurring donor program. So if you visit our website now, you'll see like a 25 for 25, meaning even if you sign up for $25 a month, that's $300 a year, which makes a huge impact on what we do. And because it's our 25th year, we were trying to kind of have a little fun with that. And then really trying to engage with people that maybe have interest in planned giving and leaving a legacy, once they're no longer with us. And so we've just got some different things that we're doing. Recently, we had a connection with the motorcycle group, the local Swamp Dogs division of the Punishers, and they wanted to do a poker run style motorcycle run for us. So that will be happening on June 22nd. That's a brand new event for us. So we're hoping to have some fun with that. And it's a new community of people that maybe didn't know what the center did. And then we have our signature fundraiser. It's every October this year, Gainesville Gone. And every 3 years it goes somewhere different. So it's Gainesville Gone Wild West. So it's more of that country glam. It's at the Santa Fe River Ranch. This will be our 16th year. So that's our big kind of fancier gala sit-down dinner. We'll debut our mission video. And it's a lot of fun. We'll have a band and some good food. And yeah, it's a really good way to kind of bring everybody together and support us in one fun night. So
talk to our audience out there and tell them how they can get involved. Where should phone numbers, websites? Let's talk about that.
So our website is www.cacgainesville.org, and we actually just redid our website. So it's very user-friendly. You can go on and learn how to get involved as far as volunteering, whether you want to come out with like Laura mentioned, as a child life volunteer and work directly with our clients, or we have a lot of groups that do fundraising drives for us. Juice and snacks are a big need in our center because our kids, and it might be something that we take for granted, it's like just a little bag of chips or a little bottle of water. But when they come into the center, it's the first thing they look for. Like they're hungry and, they want those snacks. So we have a lot of groups that are consistently doing juice and snacks drives. That is a big need for us on a weekly basis. And then we have groups that come out and help clean the center or maybe spruce up the outside. So if we have any groups out there that, are looking for like a fun team building day, you can also come and help us out. You can help us out at special events. There's a lot of different ways. So if you check out our website, you can see our mission video that really speaks to the power of our services and, learn all about us.
So just Google Gainesville Child Advocacy Center.
Instagram as EAC Gainesville is our handle, and then we're also on Facebook at Child Advocacy Center Inc. is our Facebook.
Yeah, I always grapple with how when you're, audio or even video, how to communicate to people that want to help, how to remember to track you down. Okay, so Gainesville Child Advocacy Center is the group. However, you can put in Gainesville CAC if you want a shortcut, and you'll get there. People like me, I can't remember every.
Yeah, it'll be the first thing that comes out.
Yeah, that's it.
Domain was childadvocacycentergainesville.org, and then we shortened it to cacgainesville.org. Much easier, easier to remember.
I know the work that you do. It's amazing. But the volunteers are, where do they come from?
Yeah, so most of our volunteers come from students at UF, which we're very grateful for. Yep. So they come in. They're usually our child life volunteers, but we also have a lot of groups at UF. We have sororities, fraternities. We have different organizations at UF that are made by students that'll come out in groups, whether it's to help us clean the center, organize our donations, anything along those lines. We're super grateful for all of them. But we also do have more like corporate group type volunteers that come out and help us with some.
Well, I think that's great. Doing community service is something that I think is wonderful. And if you can start learning it early on, it's even, better. When I went to college, we really didn't have anybody coming to us and say, oh, if you want to do community service, you can go here or there. Now, I think it's all the college kids here, they're pretty smart, right? And they want to go on to advanced degrees and this, and they know that not only do they look at grades and tests, but they look at community service. So they may go into it with the idea of, well, I've got to do community service, but once they get there and they get involved, then that's the opportunity for you to teach them and show them just how important their work is. So I think that's wonderful that, you're getting the students from UF, and if they're from Santa Fe, they can work there too.
Absolutely. We are happy to have anybody that wants to come help out.
So
Advocacy and case management team, they always have interns. So for anybody that might be out there looking in that world, we always have the assistance, and it's
and what's, I think, important for our listeners and viewers to understand is that while we have trained psychologists that help screen the kids and find out what's going on, you need a lot more than just a psychiatrist or psychologist or whatever to deal with the situation. You need all hands on board, right? So what about just people in the community that want to volunteer? What do they do? How do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so the best way is probably to email volunteer@cacgainesville.org. That'll come straight to me. And so that way we can kind of coordinate a plan on what type of volunteering they're looking to do, what type of things that we need at the center at that moment.
So even if somebody's only available 3 or 4 hours a week, that's enough to get started as a volunteer?
Absolutely. And even if they just want to come out for a few hours one day, we'd be happy to have them for any type of organizing. Or if they don't have time to come to us, they can always do a drive on their own, at their business, at their school, whatever they're able to do, we'd be happy to have.
Well, if anybody's out there and owns a business and you want to let your team members know what's available and important in the community, I think it's really great. Yeah, my wife works with a 14-year-old who just moved to this country, and she's Hispanic, so, and the girl's from Ecuador, so I think she gets together with her once a week, and they just, I don't know what they do, they hang out, and, and
That's good. Yeah, that's what people need. They need a little bit of community.
Yeah. So, you don't have to be trained, number one. The CAC will figure out, what you need to know. They'll walk you through it. The main thing is human beings that care. And you have children all the way from a couple of years old up to 18. And, it's heartbreaking when you see these kids who basically don't have a chance. It's like, and you're there, you're opening up a chance for them to maybe, get into the right path to, make something out of their lives. I've lived in Gainesville since 1970, and I've been involved in a lot of different charitable organizations. And I think for me, the most heartbreaking was, when I was doing the dependency cases in court, and I saw what the environment was that a lot of these young kids were living in, and I would just go, I have no idea of how to break this cycle.
You saying break the cycle, that is part of it. That's our tagline, breaking the cycle. So it's together breaking the cycle of child abuse, because statistically, when a child is abused, they would be more likely to go on and be an abuser. So that's why, it's another reason why even the therapy at such a young age can help them heal so that they don't go down that path.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so important that we make sure that our young kids if you can save one kid, just think of how important that is. And you're doing a lot more than that. You've got dozens and dozens of kids, right, that are coming there every day, and you're doing something to help them. And I think, look, you're not going to save every kid, but if you're able to get enough of them straightened out as far as, okay, this is a pathway, and it may be that their mother and father are just not able to do the right thing, and then you find a relative or grandparent. It's fairly common to see grandparents stepping in and helping out, right? They're a little older, they've got a little more perspective on life. They're maybe not running around and doing crazy things, and right. And you go, oh, I think it's time for grandma or grandpa or somebody to step in and and help out. Yeah.
You also do, I call it PCIP, parent-child interaction therapy. And so to kind of speak to what you just said, where maybe the parents just need a little extra assistance. So it's not always that, your kids are going to be removed. So, and again, it's a case-by-case basis, but we have trained therapists that can work with the parents. And so we have, rooms set up, and it's similar to if we're going to do a forensic interview where we have the caregiver and the child in one space, and then we have the therapist in a separate space, but they've got an earpiece. So now they're kind of monitoring and watching the caregiver interact with the child, and they can help them through that process and help them, with being appropriate and just.
I think one of the big challenges is if the parents are illiterate or have very limited skills, how do you go about raising a child that's going to succeed in school? And now abuse is different, right? However, there's many families where they just don't have the skills necessary to live in a safe environment. And, you don't want strangers coming in the house that might abuse the kids. You got to protect the kids, right? And so your agency will help also coach up the parents, right? It's like after this time, there's, supervised, you supervise your kids when strangers are in the house. You're there, you don't just leave them with somebody that randomly shows up and, but you hear those stories, right?
Unfortunately, yes. Like you can't make this stuff up, the different cases that we work with. So
we're getting near the end of the show, but I want to thank you for everything you do. This is really important for our community and every community, how we raise our children, because the children are our future. And if we can't take care of our children and at least give them an example, how are they going to learn? They need some example. And if the example that they're currently getting isn't adequate, if their example is leading them to value things that are really, they're not good for the community, they're not good for them, they're not good for their family, they're not, right? So what your goal is to help the children find some role models, to find some resources within the community so that they have a chance to grow up and reach their potential.
Correct. Yeah. And we encourage anybody to come out and take a tour of our center. Yeah. Can always. Yes.
Yeah. No.
It's one thing is like great to give back, but we want you to really see it and feel. And, I've given tours to people that come in and we kind of talk about our traumatic childhoods together. And they're like, I just feel so safe being in here. But these are adults that have just coming in to learn about us, but that's the space, we want that safe space, and definitely come and check us out and see what we're all about.
Okay. So it's the Gainesville Child Advocacy Center. They're on University Avenue. And I promise you that if you volunteer and you help out, whether it's your own time or your money, it was very, very important. I know at Meldon Law, we encourage all of our team members to get involved in the community, and I'm going to go back to our team and let them know that there's some great stuff, and our office is not far. It's only, about a mile and a half away. And so, again, I want to thank Brooke Beers and Laura Clark from Gainesville Child Advocacy Center for joining us on Meldon Law and Friends. And thank you very much, ladies. And we'll be back next week on Meldon Law and Friends.
Thank you.
Okay.